Val wouldn't go. Val doesn't
Because
want to work on her
she would
feelings.
accept that she needs it, but she just would
No.
refuse to.
I don't think she deep down she would know that she would go and it would help her, but I don't think she wants to because it was suggested to her.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It was someone else's
If
idea.
if it
Deep
was
down,
her
you
idea,
think it
she
would
would
help.
go to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pierce doesn't think deep down that it would help.
Yeah.
He just doesn't think he needs it.
And with that, welcome back to Table Talk, a live action role playing game with all baristas. With me
Nailed
today
it.
is Bela,
Who plays Val who doesn't want to go to therapy.
PE,
Buka probably been to therapy at least once or twice, just didn't know.
and Jordan.
Pierce, and he just doesn't need it.
Last we left off, our friends were entering the third and final part of the trials for Falhorn's admission into Whisper Fen Academy. After two fairly easy trials going into this mysterious and weirdly larger on the inside maze, our friends made their way through a room full of suits of armor and flying swords with minimal to moderate damage, followed through continuing on the maze, and found themselves in a room of shifting walls and stone, moderately injured, but finally made their way into this final almost empty room, realizing that anytime they took a step into the room, a dais seemed to move up, only visible to the person that was taking the step forward. Once the rest of the group realized that there doesn't seem to be any traps or any enemies around, they made their way towards this center dais where they each read a note from various people from their past, some alive, some not. And after reading and looking up, realizing that the room itself was spinning, our group of friends were thrown into inky black void. And that is where we are now. Buka, you look around and see nothing. It is pure inky void. And even looking down at where your feet are, it feels like solid ground. But as you look down, you see just nothing. You look around, desperately trying to find any form or semblance of, I guess, literally and figuratively, solid ground. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Perception. Nice. 18?
18. You start to smell the air close to the port, the smell of salt water, and a faint hint of a kebab stand nearby.
Is everything's dark? There's no light or shadows or anything?
You don't see anything, but as you start to kind of perk up and smell a little bit more, it doesn't seem like the smell is all around you. It seems to be coming from if ahead of you. It's again, as you're kind of standing here, it's hard to get any semblance of an actual direction, but it seems to be coming directly in front of you.
I think I use my rapier as kind of a walking stick and poke in front of my feet to make sure that there's someplace for me to step.
As you use the rapier and are using it almost like a walking stick, it's hitting solid ground. It kind of doesn't feel like the stone of the maze that you had been in before. It kind of gives a little bit, but seems to kind of bounce back a bit. But it feels solid enough.
I take a step towards the smell of kebabs.
Take a step, take another one. You walk for what seems like days. You have zero clue on how long you've been walking, but ahead of you, you start to notice a light finally start to form, some semblance of something. And as you continue forward, the smell of the ocean gets stronger and stronger, and the food cart gets even stronger, like fresh food, meat that's being roasted, vegetables, and it only seems like a few steps ahead of you.
I think I keep moving. I've been walking for days. Do I even remember I'm supposed to be in a challenge? in the
I
maze.
think what a weird dream. Part of you remembers your friends, and you stepped into the maze and the sword, and like the you look down at your rapier, and you're like, oh, this is what we use for the kebabs, and you find yourself standing in front of a cart at the port. Typically around this time, a lot of the workers will try to find like a quick bite. Buka, you know that this is a perfect time for you to maybe nick a few coins from people as people are starting to land at the port. But at this point, you felt kind of like that hunger in your belly, and you have your small knapsack that you tend to carry around, easy for transporting goods that you might have just found that were lost. But you see in front of you, human man, probably in his mid to late 30s, kind of like a scruffy beard. Yo, so what would you like?
Just one kebab, please. And I look around. Do I see anybody else? Is it just the
You
worker in the cart?
you see that the port it's full. It's lunchtime, but you see that a nearby ship, maybe about, 8 or 9 spots down, ship is starting to dock. But it's the middle of the day. It's the middle of a work day. It's full. It's busy.
Yeah, just one kebab, please.
Yes, of course. That would be
Of course. I reach into my purse and drop a copper on the table.
yeah. You feel there's some other coins in there. You just by feel alone grab a copper, and then have a wonderful day. Next.
Thank you. And I step aside, looking at this kebab. It looks and feels and smells normal.
You smell it. It's honestly smells better than any kebab you've ever had,
Better than any kebab I've ever had.
at least from the smell alone.
Oh, Is oh, I take a bite.
It's so good. The meat has been like roasted and spiced like so well. Like as you take your bite, there's like a lot of meat on there, but there's vegetables that have been roasted to perfection, and like the smell alone already delicious. But as you take a bite, it's probably the best kebab you've ever had.
Scarf it down, I think.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3 bites, and all of a sudden it's gone. You feel satiated, not quite enough to fully, fill the hunger that you had, but you don't have that same hunger that you had before. And you make your way around. You're walking around. It's so many people. They seem to, have just landed. Some seem to be loading up on the ships. It's people carrying different kind of boxes and crates. Hundreds of workers collectively across, all of these different like ships. And you hear a familiar voice behind you. A small halfling. Hector is behind you. Buka, Buka.
Hector? What's up?
You at this point using his nimbleness makes his way past like dozens of people. I've been looking for you.
Yeah, you found me. What? How you
Yeah,
doing?
you're good. You were gonna teach me. He kind of like goes on his tippy toes to try to get a little bit closer to your face and to your ears, and just says, you were gonna teach me how to do what you do.
Oh, right. How to borrow.
Borrow. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Sweet. Well, step one, have you, and I kind of move him over towards some crates that are off the side that are often on the dock and lower my voice. Have you picked your target yet?
No. I'm. You see, he's sweating a little bit. He's probably 14. You know that he hasn't really been in the life too long. Heckin found him trying to steal some food from the back of the leaning tree one time, and you know that he had gotten brought in just a few weeks ago, and but seemed excited about it. Clearly quick on his feet, quick at grabbing other stuff as well. No. How do you pick your target?
Okay. Well, there are some rules to start with. One, if you're going to pick a target, okay, you're going to want to make sure that you're faster than them because
Yeah.
if you get discovered, speed's the number one thing that's going to save you, okay?
Right.
Right. Okay. So, rule number 2, we don't take from people who look like they need it.
Right.
Do you
Right.
know what that?
Yeah.
Do you know what that looks like?
You see, he nods. Like I think truly understanding this lesson.
Yeah. Okay. Rule number 3: don't shit where you eat. So don't
Huh?
steal close to where you live. Okay, because if you're going to spend a lot of time in one place, then you have a better chance of getting caught. So you don't want to steal close to home,
Okay. Yeah. Don't.
right? And now, do you see why that's a little confusing? Because we live near the port, right?
Yeah.
And if we're always near the port, then we might get caught. So, little deductive reasoning now. Are you going to steal from people who live at near the port as well?
Yeah. No. No.
No,
See,
we're
you're shaking
not.
your head a little bit. No. No.
We're not, right? We only take from, right? Rule number 1, people who
Really rich people.
rich people, right? Rule number 2, we got to be faster than them,
You
right?
got to be faster, and
Mhm.
then
Mhm. If rule
don't
number 3 is don't shit where you eat,
don't. Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's all.
Okay. Okay. So I look out into the crowd. Do I see any like merchant ships or trade ships that came in recently and have some eager businessmen or the like walking around?
Yeah, as you make a kind of a quick look around, you notice that maybe just about 2 or 3 ships down, you know that they landed there, not that long ago. There is like a point where they finally have dropped the gangplank and people are starting to make their way down. Not a lot of merchandise. Like some merchandise is coming out, but you just notice that as some of the individuals making their way out, some of them seem to be coupled up, some of them seem to be walking alone. The one that kind of stands out to you a little bit is this half elf standing, maybe about 5'9", long hair that's been pulled back, very angular features, and you can just tell already has just from the cut of the clothes, from like the jewelry that he's presenting, seems to be like a merchant of some kind.
Great. And I kind of point Hector in that direction. Okay. What do we think about this one?
Yeah, he looks like he got. Yeah. Look, and he points, and
Mhm.
he's got money, and then you notice that there's a coin purse that seems to be attached to his side, a little bit lower. You know that usually people that are trying to keep their money a little bit safer or hidden will have it like closer to the actual, person. But this
Mhm.
one seems to be hanging a little bit lower, easily accessible, especially for someone of Hector's height.
Right. Okay. Now, remember what we practiced on the snatch and grab, right? Do you want to do this by yourself or do you want some help?
No. I got it. Beads of
Okay.
sweat starting to come down.
Okay. I'll be right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Then I pop a squat on on one of the crates.
You sit down and you see that he starts to make his way, kind of coming at it from an angle. At this point, he's already reached the actual port, and this individual, this merchant, is looking around, doesn't really see a whole lot, or maybe someone who he's looking for, and he kind of shrugs his shoulders and starts to make his way towards where one of the main offices is, where people we usually like check in. There seems to be usually like a registry and stuff like that. So, but this individual starts making their way there, and there's like a point where as you're looking at him, kind of seeing where he's going, you look back, you don't see Hector. You're looking around, and at first maybe he chickened out. Maybe he got caught. He couldn't have gotten caught already. He hasn't done anything. And there's a point where you see shuffling between the legs of a lot of these people, going underneath this massive crate that's being carried by 2 dock workers, pulls out a small. You look at it, it looks like a kitchen knife from the Leaning Tree, used for chopping vegetables. But he makes his way close, and then all of a sudden, you don't see him anymore. And you hear first like a cough behind you, and then you hear a Bugana.
Yeah. Hello? And I
You
turn.
turn around. You are in a small room. At this point, the windows and the shutters are closed. There's a small candle that's lit by the bedside, and you see your mother on the bed.
Mom.
With that, we are going to cut over.
No.
Val, you
Oh man.
are in utter pitch black. You look around. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
First roll. 21.
21. You hear the sound of leaves rustling overhead, and there's a moment where just like a small snap of a twig, or maybe like just a dried leaf on the ground, just like an animal stepping on it, and then all of a sudden the darkness of this room that you were in vanishes. You don't know how long you had been in that kind of same position, lying low. Your feet were starting to, and your legs were starting to almost feel tense and cramped just from holding that same position down low for so long. And you realize that there had been this small kind of canopy of leaves and branches kind of woven together. And at this point, Fell moves it to the side and just says, okay, so he doesn't know that we're here. And you look up and see a bow similar to the one that's in your hands. You look down, see that. And ahead of you, you notice large elk, 8 points, just moving carefully, gracefully, stepping, kind of eating at some of the foliage that's nearby. You remember you were in a maze, but that was a weird dream. You must have dozed off in all that time that you were waiting. You know that there's times where Thel had you wait for hours and hours and hours at a time. And this is really the first time that he is letting you take the lead on this hunt. What a weird dream. It's oh look, it's starting to move forward. All right, so you know what to do, right?
Like you taught me,
Once you have a clear shot, make it clean. No need for it to suffer.
right between the eyes. And I line up my I pull back and let it fly.
You go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
Hey, so I think that nat one's gonna be funny.
Start to feel your hands sweat profusely. You've done this before, but never really alone. And you've gone hunting before, after, especially after all the lessons that Thel has had. You do, but nothing like this elk. And Thel's watching, and you go, and there's a moment where, as the bow or the arrow is pulled close to your ear, the sweat just loosens your grip just enough, and lands, thunks into a nearby tree. The elk immediately doesn't even make any movement of where the sound came from, just bolts deeper into the woods. It's
Shit.
it's fine. It's fine.
No, sorry. I don't. We've done this before. I'm sorry though.
No, you're fine. Well, let's put your tracking to work.
Okay.
As you're going, you start to, uh, the elk bolted out, wasn't really trying to. It's not really doing a great job at hiding its tracks. It takes a little bit still, just in the grand scheme of things, the animal is still very light on its feet. But then you notice moments where, like, okay, cool, it went this way, and you start to track. It's made a lot of progress. You're going deeper and deeper and deeper into the woods. There's points where Thel has to kind of move you or direct you towards a different area, as he lets you know that there are traps nearby for some of like the larger creatures, so that they don't make their way closer to Lenneth. You know that there's traps, all around, but usually you don't know exactly where they are. He's At this point, Thel has placed dozens upon dozens of these massive traps. And you start to hear the sound of a creek nearby, water bubbling, tracks lead in that direction. And you notice, at this point, you had been traveling for probably a couple hours at this point. And you notice that same elk, majestic, leaning down and drinking from the creek.
So I don't want to take the shot. I messed up last time. You take it. We've been hunting this thing for hours.
Yes, and that's why it's up to you to do it.
I'll just mess up again.
Yeah, maybe. But I guess we won't know unless you do it, right? Listen,
You really want.
worst that happens is we go hungry.
Right.
I mean, I'm gonna eat. I have food at home, but unless you want to go back to your little dorm room and eat whatever pansy ass food you
I pull my bow and take the shot to shut him up.
go ahead and roll.
14.
You go, take the shot, lands right in the neck. You notice a point where the elk starts to kind of pace as it feels the pain, and then it starts to lean forward. And as it drops, you hear a small yell from Fell behind you.
I turn around as quickly as possible.
You're in your father's office. You are in the moment where you hear your father's voice speak up a little bit after you had already heard him and your mother arguing, all throughout the morning. And Valmaris speaks up and just says, "It's not up for debate, Osonia. She will be going. Lenneth will be good for her." And you hear your mother's voice speak up a little bit and just say, "Yes, but she's so young." And your father's voice speaks up again and just says, "I know, but it'll be good for her to learn the trade and to truly understand the things that are happening." At this point, you just kind of feel this annoyance of you always getting decisions made for you over and over again. At this point, you're right by the door.
Do I know if the door's open?
Yeah, you would know that it's unlocked.
Barge in.
You barge in, and we'll cut over to Pierce. Pierce, your vision is fully, not even clouded. You're just in inky black void. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Got a 5.
A 5. You lose track of time. You remember the maze. You remember Falhorn being the first one to disappear, and then all of a sudden you felt your feet lift off of the ground, and you suddenly wake up. Your bright light has been coming down. The thing that had been covering your eyes is just gone. Your mouth feels so dry just from who knows the last time that you had water. But you know that anytime that you doze off or you have moments of respite, that you typically will keep your sword nearby and you'll keep like your water skin nearby. But you're just feeling like unending thirst right now.
I mean, am I standing up? Am I like
No, you're
sitting
laying down. You clearly
Yeah.
dozed off. This is like a moment where
Yeah.
you guys have been. You're remembering. You've been trekking. You've been traveling in not necessarily the desert, but kind of like a savanna. A lot of heat, dead of summer.
I mean, I'm gonna get up and then like first thing, just like look to see if I have any water.
Yeah, you feel your water skin. It's about half full. You know that some of the magic users can cast simple, create water spells. So it's never, end of the world to finish up a water skin. And you go start to drink from it. Not very cold. It's definitely warm, but it just tastes good. You feel some of like the dust leave your mouth and you're able to kind of quench that thirst. You see the rest of the group. At this point, the company there's about 14 of you guys total, as well as like your commanding officer. And you've been traveling. You're headed towards another outpost out here in Ulxa, just helping fortify some of the nearby towns. And, the outpost being Numerian's kind of base of operations, at least in this part of where you are. And there's based on what you've been told already, there's about 8 or 9 towns nearby. But you have maybe another hour or so.
Is anybody in the company I'm traveling with somebody that that I know or I've traveled with before, or am I like in a kind of newer?
You're kind of in a newer company. This one was kind of drawn from different members of different parties and companies, but you guys have all been brought together just simply to be a respite for the people that have been at this other outpost for the last couple of months already. You look around and you see a half orc nearby. You've seen probably been like the closest to him. I don't know how much talking was actually done, but this half orc, his name is Zera. He finally sees you, drink from your water skin and get up and just says, "Well, well, well, sleeping princess, about time you woke up."
Well, if somebody had woken me up, I would have been up earlier.
Oh, so now it's up to be Mother Hen, huh? All right, good to know. Sorry, Your Majesty. My apologies. I'll keep that in mind for next time.
We got about an hour left, right?
Yeah, we just figured it'd be best to rest before we get in there because damn well once our company makes it in, they're gonna put us right to work. So we figured it'd be a best time to rest up.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Be interesting to see how this visit goes and how long we're gonna be here. I think as we're having this conversation, I'm just trying to like for myself, just like get all my like mental state stable. So I'm like thinking about where we are and like I'm looking at my own rank, trying to figure out like at what point in my time in the military is this like getting like just an idea of like what's going on.
You've only joined recently. You're at this point, you are maybe about 6 months in,
Okay, got it.
and that's why you're kind of been getting thrown around into random.
Whatever. Yeah, no, it makes sense. All right, well, there. Let's get moving.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to bring up the rear.
And you see at this point, the rest of the company has started to already grab their stuff. And you see that Zera kind of goes near the fire and just kind of kicks some dirt into it and just says, "All right, let's get going." You gather your stuff and you start to make your way towards this outpost. It's about an hour later. You're traveling again in high grass. At this point, kind of not cutting your skin, but it's just kind of scratching away at you. Just annoyance at the heat above you, pack on your shoulder. Grass is just dried out at this point that you have to kind of track your way through. And you see this outpost ahead of you that's, made up of shoddily made kind of walls, just enough to provide a little bit of protection. It seems to be just a town got taken over at some point. And you make your way in. Total, there's maybe about 40 to 50 homes that you can see. You see random from windows nearby, just kind of children and even some parents and adults that are kind of taking the glance as you guys have been making your way into this town. Town even being a strong word. You eventually end up going towards the center of town. There's been like this command post that has been set up. And you see one of the commanding officer or your commanding officer go and speak towards the commanding officer that has been placed here in this town and village. Your commanding officer, Thomas Dom, you don't remember. He's spoken to you only a handful of times. All right, gentlemen, you go ahead and place your things along the wall, and we'll find a cot for everybody to stay for the night.
I think as I make my way in, military just like still being really new. Obviously, I'm only 6 months in, so I think these random missions, how long they last, how long we're going to be there, it's just I already know are unknown. So I think I find a cot, but I don't really unpack.
No, you just put your stuff down so you're not having to carry it all the time.
Yeah.
You hear a small chirp or two above you of like a bird song of some kind.
I mean, I turn and look at or like try to find it.
Yeah, you look up, you kind of see two birds kind of doing this weird intricate dance. You lose them in the sun, and there is a moment where you get blinded for like a second as you're so caught up in looking at them that as they went directly where the sun is, you're just blinded. You look around and you are gathered you're sitting in the front row. You hear sniffling and quiet crying to your right.
Is it my mom?
You look over and see your mom trying to keep a brave face, just wiping away any tears with a kerchief that she has holding in her hand. At this point, it is starting to soak through. But you see her.
Yeah, I'm all right. I put my arm around her and like kind of pull her closer.
She goes into the hug. I know he'd been sick for a little bit, but still.
Yeah, I'm just sorry that I wasn't here during the last time.
Paul understands. And you see that she looks towards where the casket is. You look, open casket. Uh, should we say our final? Should we say our goodbyes?
Yeah, we can do it together.
You help her up, and you start making your way towards the casket. You look down, and Buka, you see your mom is looking at you, coughing. A little bit of blood has speckled nearby, near her mouth, but she wipes it away quickly.
Mom, where's? I look around for her handkerchief or whatever she uses to keep up with her coughing fits.
Yeah. There's one nearby, kind of in the same small table that is by the bed where the candle is, and you're able to get it for her. You also notice a small like carafe and like a clay cup that you're able to fill with some water.
Mom, here. I hand her the handkerchief, and I pour up some
Uh,
water. Come on, do you need to sit up or do you want to stay lying down?
No, help me stand up or sit up.
Yeah, I got you.
You're able to move around some of the pillows to kind of give her a little bit of support. Will you go and take that job with that dwarf?
I've been trying to see if there's anything else that I could do, but he's really kind, you know. He looks tough and he can have stern moments and words, but and uh and knowledgeable. He can teach me things and I can be good at it.
Just don't lose yourself. I know people that have gone into that life, and it's not an easy life to get back out from.
You're right. He said that, I do have some things to learn, but I could spend most of my time as a as a bartender, and
Oh,
I'll uh, that'll be mostly what I do.
okay. No, that's good. Okay.
Right.
It's good, honest
hmm
work.
Yes, absolutely. And I also asked if I hold up the handkerchief some more.
She
I
wipes
also asked
away a little
if
bit more blood that's formed.
part of my payment could be in the form of medicine.
No. I don't want you doing that. Torin and Fram already said that they would help take care of me. They're already doing a lot, and I don't want you having to add on to.
I want to. I know their family, and I know that they also want to, and I'm really thankful for that. You're my mom.
It's fine.
Want I want to
Torin's
help.
already been getting the medicine.
hmm
Torin's been getting the medicine. It's not as expensive as you think it might be. We're making it work. So, and I
Is
have some money saved even from when I was working in the keep. So
is that why we've had potato soup for the past 3 weeks?
I I just really like potatoes.
I know you like potatoes, Mom, but maybe we can do crumpets or even French fries.
Okay, I know we lived a long time in the keep, but I didn't think that the royals and royalty had warped you so much, Puka.
I just think you deserve the best, and if I can help with that, I will.
How about you make enough money and we can go out to a nice meal? Something, listen, I know you love kebabs, but maybe we could have a nice sit down meal at an actual restaurant.
Mom, you can sit down and eat kebabs too. You don't have to stand and eat kebabs.
First of all, that's crazy talk. Absolute crazy.
You're right.
Have
It's
you
a
been
walking snack.
have you been eating kebabs in bed?
I look around.
Ghana.
I I mean, sometimes if there's a kebab and I'm also in bed, like I'm hungry, like at the same time, I might just have a little bit.
First of all, disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. The fact that you also don't shower is wild to me.
The water here, I'm really
Quit.
tall, Mom.
I,
Like, if I were to use all the hot water and nobody else had any hot water, that wouldn't be very nice.
First of all, it is summertime. Absolutely crazy for you to even suggest hot water.
But that's the only way I'm gonna get rid of this grime, you know?
Yes, yes. Go get me some more water. I love you, but you stress me out.
Of course.
You go and grab the carafe. At this point, it's pretty much empty, but you know that there's like a sink and a faucet in the kitchen where you're able to fill it up with some clean water.
Yeah. Mom, what do you think about maybe me also moving out and living at the lean tree?
I think it would be good. I think it would be good for you. I don't want you to feel like you have to stay here. If it's easier for your work and with everything, I don't want you spending all of your money and your wages on rent though.
Right. I've talked to Hecken, and the lean tree does have a few rooms, but he said that I could take one of them. It's really small. It doesn't actually have a closet. I don't know if it can be zoned as a room. But
I mean, you wear two different shirts, so I don't think we
Mhm.
really need to worry
You're
about.
right.
Maybe we can get you a nice dresser.
Okay. Dresser. I'm also gonna need man, I want to get back into writing. I know I haven't
I
done
know,
that in a long time.
I know, your birthday's still not for a few more months, but will you grab me? And then she points to at the corner of the room. There does seem to be you didn't notice it at first just because it's tucked away. There is a small box. Can you bring that to me?
Mom, birthday? And I go and grab the box. You didn't have to get me anything for we haven't had like a party or anything for a while.
It's fine. And then she goes and lifts up the box, and there are fresh, like, sticks of charcoal, and you notice like parchments of paper, and as well as some kind of like whittling tools. You have a creative side, and I scraped together some money. Torn, chipped in as well, and but we wanted to get you this. So if you're going to be, moving out soon, then this be something that you could do in your spare time.
Yeah, I think that'll be great. At this time, do I have the awareness to realize that this all happened already? Like this feels like a memory?
When you are in a moment and you are kind of transported in that moment, I think there was a moment before you had talked to Hector where Buka had the wherewithal to know that you were somewhere else. But as you've progressed to this second memory,
Yeah.
I think you are very much in the moment.
Heck yeah. Thanks, Mom. I'm gonna write everything.
Yeah, we really should learn to write. We really try to make
But
those lessons stick
no,
when you.
it'll come back to me. I
It
haven't
has
practiced in
to
a
be a
long
choice
time,
at
so
some point. It
yeah,
has to be a choice.
right. I'm choosing to try to remember that now, and I'll practice every night, just a little bit, maybe if I'm not eating kebabs in bed. Okay.
Disgusting. Disgusting, Buka. You hear from the other room, Buka. Go ahead and
Yes.
give me perception or insight.
Perfect. Big money. Number 12. Perception.
12 perception.
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment where you hear your uncle. You hear Torin's voice calling out to you, the one that yelled at Buka. But then it didn't really sound like Torin. It sounded like someone else's voice, a man's voice, but not Torin.
Uncle Torin? Is
Buka.
Yeah, I go towards the voice.
You go and open the door. Val, you open the door and find yourself bursting in as your parents look at you. Your mother looks sad. You could tell that, not quite crying, but her, eyes are a little bit red. Your father is sitting down at his desk and just says, eavesdropping again, Valentina?
This is nothing new, Father. Deciding my future again?
I guess we do what we do, don't we?
Hmm.
You already knew that we had expressed interest in you going to Lenneth. Your mother and I went there. We found it incredibly valuable towards us and our success and this, and kind of points to the room that you guys are in.
Opportunities usually involve some sort of decision-making process, which is not involved here whatsoever.
And what would you do? You already left this the whole city to go be with your friends. You clearly have no sense of responsibility as is, Valentina.
Responsibility. I'm just a kid.
And for how much longer are you going to be just a kid?
Val jokes up.
I'm not saying that you have to be there indefinitely. You can always come home, visit. But I will say winters in Steakaria are a little harsh. But beyond that, the rest
Harsh.
of the it's sub-zero. I'm very aware, but the school has ways of making sure that it's not absolutely frigid. After all, they do take care of their students. We pay good money.
Dad, it feels like you're throwing me away.
Throwing you
You
because
don't want to deal with me. You're sending me away to this ideal place where I'm going to become the perfect version of myself for you.
and you're saying that you will, if you were to stay here, that you would listen to the guidance that your mother and I would give you, that you would listen to us, that you would actually do the things that we ask of you.
I mean, it'd be an option, but I would like options. I know I'm not the son that you wanted.
I could care less about that, Valentina.
You say that, but you don't mean it.
You not being my son has nothing to do with.
You wanted a proper heir to the business.
We want you to be the heir to the business. What do you, Valentina?
You want me to become the heir to the business.
Yes. We want the business to continue. Is that so
And
wrong?
so it feels like I have to become this thing that I'm not to earn your love.
He stays quiet, and at this point, your mother, Osonia, speaks up and just says, Val, no, you don't have to earn our love, darling. You don't. But I
I
think
know you think that, but I want him to say that, to believe that. Because you and I both know that's not true.
she looks over at Valmaris. Valmaris speaks up and says, you'll be leaving at week's end. We have already informed Lenneth of your arrival, and it's been decided.
Don't expect me back.
You see that your father speaks up. Hicks, a voice nearby just says, gather the things, prepare her luggage. She'll be leaving in a few days. And you hear Hicks's voice speak out to you and just say, Val, go ahead and give me a perception or an insight.
11 for perception.
11. The voice sounds like Hicks, but Hicks has never called you Val ever in your entire life. Something about that, and you were somewhere else. You were before you walked in. Were you before? And then you hear again, Val.
I go towards the voice, turning my body towards it and head towards it.
You stand, or you already standing. You turn around and you make your way through the door. Pierce, you hear your mother's speaking before you were going to go and say some words about your father. And life is simply crossing through doors and thresholds of into one existence, from one existence to the next. And Paul knew the meaning of a long journey. He knew that so much of his life was dedicated to the service of Numir, to this city, to the Alcor Keep, towards their highnesses, kind of pointing in. At this point, Pierce, you're standing in the front. You see the king and queen, and then next to them you see Weaver. Kind of similar garments to what they would normally wear, just a lot more like dark toned, a little bit more appropriate for funerals. And Your mother continues as she says, and with all of that, I would just like to thank everybody for being here, for taking the time to show their respect for Paul. Thank you. And she steps away from the. There is this small ambo that's kind of allows. It's a couple steps up, so that you could speak to the group and the crowd that's gathered around. And then she looks at you and kind of just nods.
Never thought my first time visiting after leaving would be for this. I think just looking at everybody that's here, I know all of you knew my dad in some way, whether it be personally or professionally, some of you both. And for all of you, I think we can all agree that my dad wasn't he was a man of very few words. But one thing that I'll never forget and that I've always strived to achieve is he never didn't take the chances that he felt were necessary. And I believe while maybe it was not the time that he wanted, I don't think he regretted anything that he did or didn't do during his life. And I think we all can learn from that. And I hope to do the same as I, continue to move forward the best I can during specifically, this hard time, but in the future as well. So as my mom mentioned, I just want to say thank you all for being here.
There's polite clapping, and suddenly you find yourself. It's in the keep. It's where the kind of an area that's tucked away. Again, the keep itself is carved into the side of a mountain, but there is an area where there is a cemetery. It's kind of hidden away off to the side, obviously used only for certain occasions. Your father is buried, and you guys are led away to a small kind of common area. Some food and drinks have been prepared, just people kind of allowing some condolences to be said. You guys just speaking in the room next door. You see your mother next to you and just says, "Do me a favor."
Yeah, of course. What's up?
I left my speech. Seems wildly inappropriate. But I left the speech over at that podium. Would you be able to grab it for me?
Yeah, of course. I'll go grab it right now.
You go into the room next door. You hear, just at this point the room is empty. You just hear your steps on stone floor. You make your way to the podium and you grab it. You start making your way back. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
25.
Some part of you looks down. You obviously heard your mother's speech, but as you're walking, it's that awkward moment where you're like kind of taking a long walk, and you're like, well, and you look down, and you see your mother's speech, and there's like a part where she's talking about you and the family and things like that. With a 25 investigation, your mother's handwriting, and this is not her handwriting.
I think I continue to look at it. Now I'm just a little confused.
There's like an itch in your brain. You're like, your mother. She would
Right.
never just have someone else write the speech. And as you're looking at it, there's like a part where, again, it's all just on one sheet of paper. And there's a point where she's talking about like you and the family, and you see your name, Pierce. And then as you start looking at the rest of the speech is gone. All of the words just saying Pierce, 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 Pierce. And then you hear a voice call out from the room next door. Pierce!
I don't recognize it.
At first, part of you thinks it might be your mother's voice, but I think with a 25 investigation, something is off about the voice. It not quite your mother's, but just like the urgency and the tone kind of
Feels
puts a
like
little,
it.
yeah.
Okay, I'll follow the voice.
You make your way back into that common area, and all three of you finds yourselves an inky black void. You guys hear your respective names. being called out in this inky black void. How did you get here? And I need everybody to roll wisdom saving throws for me.
Nope. That's a 7 for me.
It's a 13.
Got a 15.
Pierce, with a 15, you look around and everything kind of comes flooding back. Those memories that you were just experiencing are still there, very, very present in your mind. The maze, there. You look around. Where is everybody?
And am I still in the like black void?
Yes, I'll say because with the 15, you start to see it's this weird combination of you're still in the inky black void, but I think as you start to think about the maze and where your friends are, you don't see your friends, but ahead of you, the dais seems to kind of take form again. You don't see the edges of this room that you're in at all, but you see the dais in front of you again. And you hear a voice again. Pierce, wake up. It's Falhorn's voice.
Can I see him now?
Go ahead and give me another investigation check.
17.
You don't see him, but you hear the voice clearly coming from like a direction. It's close to where the dais is.
Okay, I'm gonna head towards the dais, but because I can hear Falhorn, I'm gonna start calling out to Buka and Val.
Buka and Val, go ahead and roll another wisdom saving throw for me. And go ahead and do so with advantage.
Okay. 17?
10.
There is a moment where, Pierce, as you're making your way and you're calling out for your friends, there is a point where you literally smack right into Falhorn. As Falhorn falls on his butt, Pierce, you're finally awake. Are you okay?
Yeah, I help him out. Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. You guys have been. I'll have to explain everything later. We have to find everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, am I starting to like see more slowly?
You are starting to get more and more. It's almost like the room is being eliminated. The edges of it are still gone, empty, just black inky void. But where you are, it's starting to be almost like a spotlight, as now both you and Falhorn are present. Buka, with a 17, you notice this light ahead of you, and then you see like the dais to the left, and you see some shadows kind of at the edge of where that spotlight is. Buka, you see this.
I'd start moving towards the light. Hello?
Pierce, you and Falhorn turn, and you hear Buka's voice.
Buka, oh, where are you at?
Pierce, are you? I started jogging now towards the light. Are you guys over here? Am I headed in the direction of their voice?
Yeah. And then as you start to approach Pierce, the light that you and Falhorn have been under grows wider and wider now that Buka, and you see him enter kind of this light as well.
Falhorn, Pierce,
Okay.
are you? Wait, where's Val?
Where's Val?
We don't know. We got to keep calling out to her.
Val. Do I think she can? Can she hear me?
We're gonna find out. Val, go ahead and roll another wisdom saving throw.
Just straight?
Sick.
Very cool. 22.
With a 22, you cross through your father's office. You enter that inky black void, and you finally start to hear your friends' voices calling out to you.
I sprint. Get me the hell out of here, please.
Val, can you hear us?
Hello?
You guys hear her voice. It sounds really distant, but you start to hear her voice, and you start to hear like footsteps approaching.
Val.
She's a runner. She's a track star.
She starts booking
Buka?
it, and then Buka, you feel something just hit you from behind.
Do they go down?
I'll see Buka. You kind of get knocked down a little bit.
Yeah.
The light is starting to illuminate and kind of spread more and more. You guys, are you okay?
Yeah, Falhorn, where are we? Are we in the room that we started in?
As you go, he will cast a dispel magic, and you guys suddenly bright light, just so blinding. You guys have to like cover your eyes because it's even with your eyes closed, it seems to be just powering through. And then The light eventually dims to a brightness. You are back in the room. The dais is fully gone. You guys are just in this perfect room. You guys are able to look and see where you guys came in. Biggest difference of the room before, it was a closed off room. You see another doorway that leads out,
Hmm.
and there's light kind of illuminating in
Valorn, how long were we out?
hours.
We were out?
Yes. I couldn't do the dispel magic. If I had broken it and you guys were still
Caught in it.
trapped, I don't know if you guys could have woken up.
Okay, well let's we can talk about it more of like what happened and everything, but let's keep moving forward.
Let's get the hell out of here. And he starts to lead you guys out. You guys make your way out of the maze to the sound of cheering and applause from the crowd nearby. And you hear Professor Onyx's voice say, and with that, the final trial of Falhorn has been completed.
I think Buka's clapping as he leaves the maze as well.
I elbow Buka.
Val, we did it.
And
We did it. I
something
grab
feels
Val's
off.
I grab Val's hands and I start jumping. We-
Stop jumping.
We did it. We did it. We
Stop,
did it.
stop.
We did it.
Buka!
Falhorn, come. Falhorn. I grab Falhorn's hand too.
He starts to
and
kind of
start jumping.
he's very nervous as there is mild hopping, and that is where we're gonna end tonight's session.
Ah,
Cue the
I
music.
mean-
Thanks
Fun.
for the trauma to start off the new year.
yeah, for real. Memories we didn't know we had. Well, that we knew we had, but we didn't know we